Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Mirikitani with another episode of Weighing In. We're brought to you by Nike Wrestling. Go to athleteps.com for all of your Nike and US Nike branded gear. By Resolite, the mat company, best gate mats in the game, and Pure and Clean Sports. Pure and Clean Sports, Mark, really important this time of the year, especially for the high school kids because the end of the season is sooner. So joined as always, usually, hopefully, my good friend, Mark Ostrander. You got the cool snowy background going. You got your Fab 50 jacket on. We need to thank Nike. We had some gear left over and got to send it to the people that support what we do. So it was awfully nice to get to send you and your wife some swag. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Had a little accident, fell off my ladder reading a book. So I had to.
I thought you were serious for a second. That's fantastic.
I had to move to a different room.
You're on the first floor now, just staying there.
That's right.
Keeping it nice and level, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So we spoke off air. You got to see the pod that Grant and I did on Tuesday. We'll bring up one subject and then let you talk about anything you want with Scuffle and Soldier Salute and all that stuff. But specifically the Nagao scenario, right? Like, so for people that didn't see Tuesday or aren't caught up, which is fine, Aaron Nagao was the projected 141 starter for Penn State. Has been banged up the last couple of years. Really good at Minnesota. Was an All-American. Really good top guy that gave RBY some fits. Didn't beat him, but certainly challenged him more than most guys did. And it just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And there's guys like that in life, and it's not their fault. It's just how it goes. And won his first match 4-0 and injury. Defaulted out, so if that's the case, do we think Braeden Davis? Do we think Nate Desmond? I think something that GT floated yesterday that was sort of just a Kale's a genius thing, not real, but like that Marcus Blaze would move up. And I don't think you move a guy up who hasn't had a regular decision this year and is very much in the title hunt, is not ranked higher just because he hasn't had some matches yet against those higher ranked guys. But we'll get to see the Ayalas and the Davinos and the other guys of the world. So your thoughts on the Nagao situation and Penn State situation first?
Yeah, well, I feel bad for Nagao. As you said, he started out his wrestling career at Minnesota with a huge bang. He beat Jesse Mendez, I think, at the Big Tens, or you beat him in.
No, you're right. The year they were both at 33. Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, he was projected to just take off, and he actually did that first year, placing top 4 or 5 at the national tournament as a freshman. Transfers to Penn State. We think he's going to be the guy at 133, but then injuries just started occurring over and over again, and it's a shame. I don't know what Penn State's going to do, but I would think Braeden Davis would be their go-to guy. They sent him to Edinburgh, and he won the tournament and looked good doing it. So, and he's a proven, commodity when it comes to the national tournament, placing last year. So at a really good weight, we didn't think he was going to place in the top 4, and he did. So what do you do?
Interesting career, right? Like, true freshman, 1 seed the year Figs won it, the complete year of chaos at 125.
Yep.
Lost a really close match to Figs, lost on the round of 12, then bumps up a weight and places, I think, 5th. Got a couple pins on the backside. Not that Penn State needed those points, but to stack them on the total. And now he'd be at 41, so he'd be one of the few guys to go wait up, or wait, then wait up. And be interesting to see where he would slot in at 141. And we can pull up the rankings. So 41, shout out to our guys at Matt Kings, Christian Thompson, Luca Pagliai, Zane Pagliai. So what's interesting here is, Composto lost. If you look at the guys that have never placed, Ryan Jack, I think, has placed once, but
yeah,
the guy was 11th, okay? Nasir Bailey is the lowest ranked guy that's placed at nationals, okay? He's at 13, and, he's placed before. Cornell is the highest ranked guy that hasn't placed, which is at 6. So, I think Luke Stanich obviously was very impressive, making the world team, winning the gold medal, beating Bassett 4 out of 5 times. And those wins look better when you look what Bassett did against Jackson Joy and where he's at up a weight. But, I feel like Braeden Davis is immediately round of 12 guy, right? Like, I feel like those top 5 guys, 4 of those will be in the semis, at least unless there's a major upset, right?
Yeah, I would agree 100%. So, yeah, Stanich.
So for those people that are just
Stanich, is he wrestling this year?
They said he's going to be back this weekend, but let me handle one thing at a time. For people just listening, top 5 are Mendez, Vega, Hardy, Echemendia, Stanich. Okay, so what we're saying is we feel like 4 of those 5 guys are going to be in the semis. The other one will have lost in the quarters. Okay, so, and we feel like that's a tier. Okay, maybe it's Mendez is tier 1, maybe Vega's tier 2. Don't really know that yet because Echemendia and Stanich haven't wrestled him, but somehow, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 tiers, they're above everybody else in our mind. So, certainly there can be upsets, but if you say Braeden Davis, can he beat Cornella, Oliveri, Composto, Ryan Jack, etc.? I think the answer is probably sure, right?
Yep.
So, I don't think this is a definitive. Well, Penn State's not going to place at 41. They might very well place at 41.
True.
And it's a kid that, like you said, has gotten it done at least once, and you get in that blood round, and nerves really matter. So
yeah, I think you'd slot him in right behind Stanich at probably number 6.
Be interesting to see where we would rank him. Like, I think we would originally just plop him in where Nagao was, right? I don't know. I don't know if I could put him.
But David, he's a returning All-American. I think we're going to probably put him in above everybody that's not been an All-American. And I think, to me, that's kind of where I would put him in. And I think I think the 2 arguments, I think the arguments there or at the lowest is behind Nasir Bailey because he's placed. Yeah.
But anywhere. So he's somewhere in 6 to 13-ish.
Yeah.
Which is basically round of 12.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not sure we wouldn't pick like Ryan Jack over Jolie Oliveri, or Corey Land over CJ Composto, or Vance Vombar, who's I believe is placed before, over Vince Cornella.
Correct.
So this feels like a very toss-up-y round of 12.
Correct.
And you'd almost, in some cases, pick the lower ranked guy or the lower seeded guy at that point because he's coming off a win and the other kid's coming off a loss.
Yeah.
So a couple things to keep in mind there. Okay. Anything else that you wanted to touch on from Soldier Salute or Scuffle?
Soldier Salute. It was disappointing that Iowa only had 2 starters wrestling in the tournament. I understand Tom has a lot going on, trying to get the guys ready for the Big Tens. They start this weekend. But if you're going to host a tournament, I know they changed the weekend. Not sure why they decided to change the weekend, David, into the same time as the Scuffle, because I think
sometimes it's a calendar shift. Like that's what happened with Hall of Fame duels. Like when Christmas hits, how many Saturdays they are in December. I'm not making an explanation or an excuse. I'm just saying that theoretically could be it.
But I think it's a tournament he wants to keep going. I think it's an important tournament for the state of Iowa. But you got to have your guys there. Fans take the weekend off to go watch this, anticipating watching all of Iowa guys wrestling. And you go there and you have, 6 total guys from the Hawkeye team wrestling in the tournament maybe? That's kind of disappointing. So, but it's his team. He's going to do it the way he's going to do it. So I have nothing to say about it. But I was disappointed that I didn't get to see some of the guys wrestle. The scuffle, man, I wish Penn State could put two teams on the map. It would be fun to see how well they did. They do. I'm not sure they would beat Ohio State this year with their backup guys, but I have a tough time believing they wouldn't beat anybody else. They're just that good. So
their backup lineup's very interesting, right? Like theoretically, it's Ono, Nathan Desmond, Connor Pierce, who won that, Tyler Kasak. I don't know who their backup is at 65, but then it's Will Henkel, Asher Cunningham.
Let's go Seeley.
Oh, Seeley. Yeah, Seeley at 65. 74 would be Will Henkel. 84 would be Cunningham. 97 would be Marisola. Heavyweight would be Cochran. It's probably 9 qualifiers. I mean, because Penn State doesn't have a backup 25-pounder. And the guy that they had there beat their starter. So, yeah. Nice problems to have. It feels like they're now, again, how they would do in a duel and how they would do in a tournament, but it feels like at worst they're a top 10 team.
It'd be fun to see.
Right. That's why these schools saying we're about to catch them. You're like, bro, no. Like you ain't no, I mean, like you don't have those guys. Like I think next year Kasak goes in. I think either PJ redshirts or PJ goes to 65 and Messenbrink goes to 74. But if they redshirt PJ and wrestle Messenbrink, then Will Henkel steps right in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Asher Cunningham and Rocco Welsh. By the way, Josh Barr, do we think he is even with Elam, better than Elam, a little behind Elam? Are we in agreement that they're kind of on a tier right now? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they're on a tier. He looks good. I mean, he is just he's wrestling like he did last year when he was really, really hot. I mean, he did lose a few matches. They were really close matches. He seems like he's opened up more this year, David. So, yeah, but I think it's those two, and I think there's a huge gap.
Yes, I do too.
Everybody else. And I think
that's like the most confident final off the top of my head, like these two dudes.
Yeah, I don't see anybody within 4 or 5 points of either one of them on a good day.
And I'm a homer. So listen, I had Josh Barr lined up for the Michigan Border Brawl against Gabe Arnold. I can't remember why, but it fell apart. But I like Josh and his family. But Rocky Elam's a Missouri kid, a Kansas City, Missouri kid, friends with the family. Zach Elam, his dad, Brian. I think Rocky presents some different problems to Josh Barr that nobody else does. One, he's freaking gigantic. Yeah. 2, he's long. And 3, that length really helps him defensively on his feet, and it really helps him on top.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be interesting. But
I personally still think Rocky David is probably the best guy at this weight, but Josh Barr looks really good. So it wouldn't shock me if Barr beat him, but it's going to be, I mean, those two will not meet this year until the finals of the NCAA, more than likely. So we're going to find out.
We're not meeting till the tournament for sure. Yeah. So, yeah. Little fantasy wrestling tip. If you're in the national contest, you might Rocky Elam at second place money is pretty good pick right now.
Yeah.
You like guys that you feel like where they are is their basement and they have upside.
Yeah.
I think that's a massive blanket explanation. And then some people's cost based on what they pay and how many points they score, which is the nerd stuff. But just in general, this is a thing. So anyway, any other takeaways before we go to new stuff?
No, I thought, last week Ohio State wrestled against Oregon State.
Yeah.
Correct? And Buzakis wrestled. Now, the way I'm looking at it, and I didn't see the duel, I'm not sure what weight they started at, but
that's exactly what I said 2 days ago.
125.
Yeah.
And he goes out there and gets a 19-4 technical fall over a really good kid. Renteria, is it Renteria? Maximus?
Yeah, I'll pull up the rankings. Go ahead, keep talking.
And, my big concern is I know Buzakis can wrestle. My big concern is that he's cutting so much weight, and they're not wrestling him the first duel in these events that they were in. They're waiting until he gets a feed in him, and then he goes out and beats everybody. Well, yeah, but can he do it on a 2-hour weigh-in? And I think he answered the question, David, and then some.
Well, it depends. We don't know where the match started.
Well, on paper, it showed him starting at 125.
Yeah, no,
usually,
this is what I said to GT. If he started Tuesday, or I said Tuesday, if he started at 25, he might be the favorite because he's so freaking strong, bro. And now 3-day weigh-in is going to be really hard for him. Okay. But day 1 should be fine. Day 2 in the morning is going to be terrible. Okay. But if he's 12, 13 pounds over on Friday night and he's in the finals, okay, they'll do whatever they got to do, and he'll weigh 150 pounds on Saturday night. And like Luke Lillidow, I'm friends with that family, but Luke Lillidow can't get to 150 pounds.
Yeah. So
it will be interesting because if you're looking at the rankings here, Lilidow's 1, Buzakis is tied for 4th, Dean Peterson is 6th, Jory Volk is 8th. You have 4 top 8 guys in the Big Ten. So you're going to see, and that's interesting too, because that's a 2-day tournament, and the semis are on Saturday mornings or Sunday morning, whichever one it is. So, so that'll be interesting. Okay. Anything else before we catch up?
No, I don't think so. Those are, the bullet points I wanted to talk about. Buzakis was huge. If they did start at 25, it answered a lot of questions for me. So I think he's going to be a real threat, David. Real threat.
I think we've thought he was a real threat since he just bodied dudes up. But I think it was like there was this asterisk, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, and now we think the asterisk may be gone. Okay. Arizona State, Iowa State last night, 25, Poulin 33. No, they made the big marketing, the Larkin brothers against the Frost brothers, and then none of those matches happened.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Larkin pinned Meza, Echemendia, Techfald, Alanis. Frost beat Miranda. We're going to skip 57 and 65 because that's what we want to talk about. MJ Guy Tan is back with the tech fall. Isaac Dean with the decision over the junior college transfer. CJ Carter at 97, so not Elam, and he beats Colton Hawks, who's at least back for Arizona State. A surprising result based on resume, but not based on ring rust. And then Younger Bastida with a major over Zuba. Nico Ruiz, tech fault Connor Uten. That's him winning would surprise me a little bit, even though he's ranked higher because I'm very high on Uten. But tech fall, that's shocking to me, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, Uten, when he wrestled against Iowa, looked hurt. I mean, he was slow. Right leg was all bandaged up. He had a brace on it. Couldn't move well. Caliendo had a close match with him the year before, and Caliendo just opened a can. And I think he got teched.
He did.
Then he goes out and beats a pretty good kid from Ohio State in the duel.
Yeah.
And so you thought, well, maybe he's not hurt. Maybe he's back. And then this result, I think there's something there that needs to be addressed because he's got a lot of talent. He's a great kid. But David, I'm one of the few people on the podcast that picked Ruiz to be an All-American this year. I don't think either you or Grant, because it's a loaded weight, but he's got a lot of talent. He's a good kid, and to be able to put those numbers up, even against the guy that's kind of hurt, is impressive. So yeah. But
yeah, so it's a variance. You kind of said two things in a different way. Like, it's how much does this say about Connor Uten and how much does this say about Nico Ruiz, right? Like, maybe Uten's not 100%, so maybe this isn't his top shelf performance or hurt him performing at top level. And then Nico Ruiz, again, somebody like you said, ton of talent. But we watched him at National Duels, GT and I, and he just found ways to lose matches. Like, he lost to Gilcher in the last second, then he lost to Lehigh in the last second, and he was winning both those matches. And it's not like he doesn't have fight. He just stopped fighting in certain positions, almost like a little kid, like he just didn't know.
Yeah.
Which clearly isn't the case. So just interesting. Okay. And then the results of the night, Kaleb Larkin 4-1 at 157 over Vinny Zerban. So I will go ahead.
Larkin's big for 49, and I don't know because I don't talk to the Arizona State guys. You're closer friends with them than I am, obviously, but it seems like after his loss to Joy from Cornell Tech, maybe he decided it's just too much of a weight cut and he's going to go up. I don't know what he weighed in at, David. So he may have weighed in at 49. But to go up and beat Zerban, who was ranked number 3, it's impressive. He's really talented. But 57 is a tough weight. I mean, really tough weight, because I think Duke is the best kid of everybody there. I think Shapiro's going to be one of the top kids. Antrell Taylor, returning national champ. I just think it's a harder weight to make the finals in than 149, so it kind of surprises me. So I'm kind of thinking maybe the weight cut's just too much on him. I don't know what your opinions are. That's kind of what I see.
Let's talk about a couple things. First of all, this weight is a little more chaotic. It's the only weight, I think, where all 3 sources have a different number 1. So I think that's worth pointing out.
Yep.
Intermat's got Waters, Cannon's Flo, and Shapiro for open mat. And none of them have PJ Duke, which I think if you ask the guys doing the rankings, at least one of those 3 sources would pick him as their champion. And again, rankings are not predictions. Rankings are body of work with, and we have to say it with some bias towards who we think. Like, people don't want to say that, but I mean, I think if we're all honest, that happens once in a while.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Here's the top 10 at 57. We'll go to 11 because I think it's pretty impressive. Waters, Cannon, Duke, Zerban, Shapiro, Taylor, Rabidou, who was killing it and has 1 loss and fell behind Taylor, Cardenas, Cannon Webster, Jordan Williams, Jackson Arrington. Okay? Pretty salty. Yeah. No defending champ. Oh, there is a defending champ there. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Taylor, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Compare that to 49. Sorry. Van Ness, Jackson Joy, Kaleb Larkin, Ethan Stiles, Caleb Tyus, Coy Biskin, Jacob Frost, Ryder Block, Aiden Valencia, David Evans, Cross, Wazalewski. Now, let's go through that. Jackson Joy has never placed. Kaleb Larkin has never placed. Caleb Tyus has never placed. Coy Biskins has never placed. Ryder Block has never placed. Aiden Valencia has never placed. David Evans has never placed. Cross Wazalewski has never placed. Now, a couple of those guys are freshmen, 2 of them. David Evans might as well be a freshman in that he was, on the bench at Penn State. But nevertheless, that's a bunch of dudes that have never placed.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess I'm trying to make your point with data points. Ty Waters has placed. Braeden Cannon has placed. PJ Duke, freshman, hasn't placed. Zerban placed. Shapiro placed. Antrell won it. Rabidou never placed, freshman. Cardenas has placed. Cannon Webster has not. Jordan Williams has not. Jackson Arrington has. So you have 7 versus 2. So there's a couple things to think about here. Number one, did the kid just bump up to get a match, right? Because, if Frost wasn't on the probable list, right? So he could have weighed 152, right? Number two is, and this does happen, right? People go home at Christmas and they eat a little bit and they grow. Okay, like it doesn't go to your belly, like it goes to your quads and your biceps and your back.
Correct.
Number three, you and I have said off air, we think Kaleb Larkin comes back at 41 next year, and we think Kaleb Larkin comes back at 57 or 65 next year because they're just so freaking long, and they have sinewy functional strength, but they're not heavily muscled, because if they were, they'd be up 20 pounds in weight classes. So we'll figure it out. I mean, I have a guess. I think he's staying up. And I don't think it's because it's an easier weight. I think it's a harder weight. But I think he's staying up. And I think he's staying up because I don't think they would do that, because I think the weight cut is hard for him. I think when the weight cut is hard and you coach, you keep guys down.
Yeah.
So he would immediately slot in. So here's what's interesting. So a couple things here, Mark, that are interesting on this. Number one, he has no seating criteria right now at 57.
Correct.
So he's got to wrestle second semester to get his RPI, to get his automatic allocation, all that stuff. Number two, he has a chance to earn a very high seed at the national tournament because he's in the same conference as Ty Waters, Vinny Zerban, Landon Rabideau. So, which are all guys that are in the top 7 right now. So those semis, no matter how you put them in a jar and shake them up, are going to be awesome.
Yep.
And then number three is, here's an argument. I agree with you that 57 is harder than 49, but it does get you away from a guy that beat you 15-0 in a period.
That's true.
I mean, right?
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you there, but I mean, that kid also got teched by a high school kid. So, I mean,
he did not get teched. He got majored.
Okay.
But my point is, maybe you're the worst matchup for me, right? And if I move up, maybe Grant's got better credentials, but I match up better with him.
Okay.
I mean, listen, you've coached a long time. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see, right? Like,
well, let's be honest, David. He just beat Zerban, who was ranked number 4 in our rankings here with the combined rankings, and some people had him at 3.
Two of the 3 sources have him at 3.
So I mean, he just beat the 3rd-ranked kid on 2 of the 3 sources. May not be a bad move for him. I'm just saying, to me, on paper, he might have won 49 if the weight's where it should be, and he can compete there because of his talent. He's obviously big enough to wrestle 57. He's tall, he's lanky, great movement, great scrambler. He's going to do fine here. It's just, it seems like 49 would have been a little bit easier path to navigate.
It's interesting because when we first started, so people should know, you and me go through broad topics, or you, me, and Grant. We don't tell each other what we think, and that's on purpose. We want the conversations to be organic. And I thought we would both agree that 57 is harder because we've said it multiple times just in general. But if you look at it, Ty Waters is ranked number 1. Who's ranked number 1 at 49? Van Ness. Van Ness killed Ty Waters.
He did.
So maybe we think, like, if those 2 wrestle and they're the same size, like, Van Ness is better, okay? Jackson Joy's number 2. There's nobody at 57 that we think is going to beat Larkin 15-0. So maybe we're wrong. Maybe 57 is easier for him, just for him. Right?
Yeah. I mean, this weight is, I mean, you look at Cannon Webster, I think, is an absolute stud. I think he's going to make a lot of noise. Rabideau has looked as good as anybody in the country. Antrell Taylor, if he gets his head right, is
I think he had one bad weekend, right? Like,
almost impossible to beat because of his strength and the way he can explode. We haven't seen a lot of Myro.
Myers, Shapiro,
yeah, we haven't seen a lot of him either year.
Here's what's interesting, though. Waters, Cannon, and Zerban are all tall, lanky, guys that use their length really well and make guys that aren't tall struggle. Like these are the kind of guys that I would not have wanted to wrestle when I was wrestling.
Yeah.
I feel like they fit right into Larkin's wheelhouse, and it's one more bad matchup for Landon Robideau.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very interesting move, right?
It is. If that's what they're doing, like I said, we don't know.
Right.
So
yeah. It's my guess.
I could see it happening.
I'm going to bet you 4 wings that he moves up. Not a full plate, 4 wings.
Only 4.
Just 4.
How do I order 4 wings, David?
Well, would it mean if we got an order of 12 and I'm right that you pay for 2/3 of them?
Oh, okay. That's
how it works.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I just think it's interesting, though, and we'll figure it out soon enough. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So next thing, Jax Forrest. Okay. So let's put to rest. We actually reported this first, by the way. We haven't done a good enough job of publicizing it, but we were the first ones to say Jax is leaving McCourt at the semester. By the way, complete implosion at McCourt. Okay. Sylphie's left. Both Herrings left. Jax left. Jaden O'Farrell's leaving. Okay. They started the year at 1. They're down to 11 in the rankings.
Okay.
Like, it's not great. There's some things going on. Might be a coaching change. I think it's very likely there's a coaching change either now or by next fall.
Okay.
So that's an interesting data point. Okay. But Jax so he's on the roster. So the gray shirt thing is off the table.
Yeah, because they put him on a roster. That means, yeah.
We signed up for 12
He's
hours.
affiliated with the program, and you can't.
No, he signed up. It's literally he signed up for 12 hours. Okay.
Okay.
That's the difference. Just maybe more, but 12. Like gray shirt is you can't take 12. Most people only take 6. I don't know. I've never really had to explain to you if you could take 11 or not. But 12 is full time. Less than 12 is part time. Okay, you know that as well as anybody, being a JUCO coach. But he signed up full time. Okay, that's the first thing. So now, and David Taylor said that they're going to use his 5 dates. Okay, so here's Oklahoma State's roster, and I'm sorry this thing keeps popping up. Okay, OU on Jan 11, then 12 days off, then Mizzou. So OU, I don't even know who their 33-pounder is. Then it's Cade Moore. Then it's Utah Valley. That's the 3rd date. Northern Iowa is the 4th date. Iowa State and Frost is the 5th date. Little Rock, 6th date. That's Jackson Tucker. 7th date it'd be Dylan Campbell. 8th date is Iowa. My guess, if I had to pick the 5 dates, is he would wrestle Iowa, Virginia Tech, Iowa State,
UNI,
Missouri, and OU. Those are my guess. They put him out in Bedlam.
Okay. But then maybe UNI because you have a ranked kid there.
Yeah, I think though, hey, let's get him his first match at home against a guy he should feel the energy of GIA, because I think they're going to wrestle him. I mean, I think, like, listen, Figs is done. Okay. Figs is not wrestling.
Okay.
So it's him or Ronnie Ramirez. Now, this is nice because of how we are now. We can just say what we think. David Taylor's getting $1 million a year that we know about. Okay. And their salary, their NIL money is significant. They're not paying all that money for these guys to take 5th. Okay, Ronnie Ramirez is a really good freshman, right? He took Drake to overtime. He got the first takedown. But Ronnie Ramirez's best matches are the matches that he's lost close. I think he beat Van D. I can't remember, but he was in that match. That might be his best win. If not, it's another close loss. But he doesn't have a marquee win. I picked Jax to win the tournament. You talked about how you picked?
Yeah.
Nico, I picked Jax to win the tournament in October. Okay? Not sure how I feel about that now. Actually, I didn't pick him to win the tournament. I picked him to make the finals. We didn't pick champions.
That's
Okay,
true.
but
We didn't.
make the finals against Blaze. I think Ben Davino might have something to say about that, but I feel very good about Blaze. Okay. But if you think Jax is a top 4 guy, if you're Oklahoma State, okay, I'll pull up the rankings at 33. But if you think he's a top 4 guy and you think Ronnie Ramirez is ranked 17th and 20th. Okay. So he's averages out to 19th. Okay. So that's the round of 24. Versus now, again, Crookham hasn't wrestled yet, right? But Bird, defending champ. Davino, undefeated. Crookham, probably the best wins of anybody if you count Vito. Sure. Frost, really good, beat Ayala. Ayala, 2-time finalist. Blaze, stud. Kaleb Larkin, freshman stud. Tyler Knox, really hard to wrestle. And he was kind of the beginning of the end for Figs in the first duel.
Yep.
V&D is at 9, returning All-American. Dom Serrano just won. Scuffle, beat Braxton Brown at the last second. Zan Fugit has had some head scratchers, but a guy that wrestled his fanny off at NCAAs last year. He's down to 13, okay?
Yeah, he placed 6th last year, didn't he?
I think he was 4th or 5th. But really? I can look that up.
All
okay.
Right.
Anyway, what are your thoughts here?
And I think about it the same way you, David, but I also think a little bit different. Ramirez is already probably gonna has used a year eligibility.
No, he has not.
He has not. Okay.
Fugit was 4th.
Okay, Fugit was 4th.
Lost to Ayala, then beat Braeden Davis, then lost to Zeth Romney.
I guess I would use those 5 events, David, to find out if Jax. We know how good he is at freestyle. He's one of the elite ones in the country, in the world. And there's no doubt about that. This is a different style. I mean, he just beat a high school kid 20-14 in the finals of, was it the Ironman?
Carson Brown, border brawler though, baby, coming in March.
But I mean, he beat him 20-14, and it was a really fun match to watch. He does make mistakes, and this is a loaded weight. If you want a kid to be the face of your program, and he could definitely be the face of Oklahoma State and what is going to propel Oklahoma State to be in the hunt for national titles in the next 2 or 3 years, I think I would probably wrestle him in the 5 events. But if he loses to any of those guys or has troubles, I think I would wrestle Ramirez.
I think that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to make a bold statement here. I think 133 is going to absolutely clear out after this year, okay? So Lucasburg graduates. Ben Davino, I think, goes to 41. I think they move Buzakis to 33 next year, no matter what. Yep. I'm sorry?
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Crookham, I mean, he might be back. It's just the health is the thing. I think Evan Frost goes to 41.
Agree.
Okay. Ayala's gone.
Yep.
I think Blaze goes to 41 because I think Ono comes in at 33. So, I mean, that's, pick your poison. Okay. Kaleb Larkin, I believe, goes up. So we're talking about 5 of the top 7 guys moving. I mean, I think that weight gets thinner for sure, right?
I do too. But we also got to think that Jax could easily be a 41-pounder. I mean, he's going to get
that's
bigger.
What I was going to say. Yeah. I think there's a very good chance that Jax goes to 41. So here's where I think about stuff maybe a little differently. Might be smart, might be dumb. But I'm thinking about these guys as some of these guys are going to try to make the Olympic team. Jax Forrest is at the top of the list of guys that are going to try to make the Olympic team, that are in college. Okay. He cannot make 57 kilograms, which is 125.4 decimal point pounds. Okay.
Correct.
That's not okay. But I'm just explaining this to people. The weight that he won the age group worlds does not exist at the Olympics. That's 61 kilograms, which is ballpark 134.2. The next weight up is 65 kilograms, which is ballpark 143 flat. 41 makes a ton of sense, right? Like, I was saying this to a buddy of mine the other day. I'm like, Davino goes up because now he's a better training partner for Mendez. Both those guys are going to try to make the Olympic team. I mean, I think Mendez is on the short list of guys that are the favorites.
Yep.
Buzakis gets moved in. Macron can wrestle. It kind of makes sense. And I thought this when they were going after Anthony Knox, but I'm told Knox to Rutgers is a done deal. Okay, but they also got Antonio Mills coming in. Okay, so now maybe Mills goes right away at 25. Like, he's physically can handle it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying I think Buzakis at 33. Anyway, so Jax to 41 makes a ton of sense. The thing that you need to use correctly is Ramirez has 5 events, okay? Not 5 dates or 5 matches.
Correct.
Okay, well, just making sure, because I know you know that, but not everybody knows that, okay? So I'm pulling up Ronnie Ramirez's wrestle stat. He is 6-3 this year. I don't think everybody needs to see this, but he wrestled in the national duels. That's 1. So that's where he wrestled Zach Redding, Drake Ayala, Cale Lordson. Okay. Then he wrestled in the Cougar Clash. That's 2. Then he wrestled in the West Virginia duel and the Nebraska duel. Okay. He's lost to Cale Lordson. Cale Lordson bumped up for the duel at 33 the first time. He lost to Van D by 1 takedown, 4-1. So, but he doesn't have, his wins are against, he beat Julian Farber in overtime. That's a pretty good win.
Good win.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, he beat Zach Redding, but Zach Redding's 4-5. So, anyway, so
he's got 4 events wrestled.
He's got 1 left.
He's got 1 left. Okay.
Oklahoma State
has 5.
Oklahoma State has 8 dates left. Let's work backwards.
Okay.
Ramirez for 1, Jax for 5, 2 TBD.
Okay.
I think that's what happens.
All right.
And I think, again, they wrestled Jax in the first 2, right? Like, I don't think they think, even if Jax was terrible, they're going to beat OU and Mizzou without, even if they lost that weight, okay? And then, I mean, again, I think you want to see where he is against the best guys, right? Like, it's not whether or not he can beat Utah Valley. It's, can he beat Frost? Can he beat Seidel or Dylan Campbell? And can he beat Ayala? Yep. Plus, if you think Jax Forrest can beat Ayala and Ronnie Ramirez cannot beat Ayala, that is massive for the duel. That's +3, -3. It's a 6-point swing. And if we think the other 9 matches are within 5 points, that's the duel.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just doing math quickly in that, like, and that duel is awesome because there's so many toss-up matches. But if you think Iowa wins 5 of those 9 matches, which I haven't done the math on it yet, but if you do, without bonus, they'd be up 3. Okay. So if Jax wins, it's tied.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see what they do. I could see them wrestling, and if he goes out and beats these guys, and he's going to be, let's say, the number 3 or 4 seed at the national tournament. Yeah, let him do it. If he wants to do it, and it sounds like he wants to do it, that's a big thing.
He definitely wants to do it.
So, I think David Taylor will have an easier decision if that's the case. I think when you're building your program around somebody like Jax, and he's somebody you can definitely help build your program around, especially the other great young guys he's got coming in. You want to make sure that they're ready for this type of thing. You don't want them to go there and lay an egg and then you made a mistake. And I don't think anybody wants that.
Well, I think that's for sure true. But here's the other thing you got to remember, right? Like, They got the Rainies coming in, right? Like, I think Sergio Vega moves up a weight. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he moves up, especially if Jax goes 41. Okay. Yep. So if next year Jax is 41 and Vega's 49, Landon Robideau can't get any bigger. Okay. Like, Lockett could. Lockett's dad's a big guy. Lockett could go to 74.
Yep.
Eventually. But I don't think he will, because he's going to try to make the Olympic team. And that's the thing people forget. 165 is really close to 162.8.
Yeah.
Okay. So, or 74 kilos is basically 163. Okay. Anyway. So you have a log jam between 33 and 49 with Ramirez, Rainey, Vega, Jax. You have 5 guys for 3 weights.
Yeah.
Now, they can Olympic redshirt at least 2 of those guys. Jax can Olympic redshirt, and the Greco Rainey can Olympic redshirt, the one that made the senior world team.
Yep.
Okay, but again, Oklahoma State is selling out arenas and doing all this Stilly Boy stuff to place or win the national tournament. They moved the National Duels Invitational to pressure Penn State to wrestle them. Sometimes be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it could happen. Okay. So very interesting to see. All right. We have on the screen here, Minnesota, Illinois, and this is probably the best duel of the weekend. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. I'm looking forward to Iowa, Wisconsin. I think there's some really good matches in there too.
Really?
Yeah, 25. 2 ranked kids.
Okay.
33. They wrestled in the semis of the national tournament last year. It was 1 takedown match. Heavyweight's going to be a really good match. I think there's just going to be some good matches.
I just think those are the 3 matches.
Yeah, well, that's more than we see at a lot of duels these days. As good as some of these teams are.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So on paper, let's just see if we disagree about anything. We'll just do head count. Yuri Volk over Spencer?
Yes.
More? Lucas Bird over whoever Minnesota wrestles?
Yes.
Vombar and Puccino is a toss-up.
Correct.
I think Joffrey and Roberts is a toss-up.
Correct.
So it's 1, 1, and 2. Cannon Webster over Millard?
Yes.
Okay. 2-1 and 2 toss-ups. Sparks and Scholes is a toss-up.
Correct.
Riddle and Colin Kelly's as close to a toss-up as you can get, 24 and 25.
Yep.
McAnally by bonus.
Yep.
Gavin Nelson over Illinois at 97.
Yep.
Coy Hopke and Luffman feels like a toss-up.
It does to me.
So it's 3-2 with 5 toss-ups. So that's what I'm saying. This is a great duel.
It is a good duel.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, Minnesota could win at 8-2, or I think Illinois could win at 7-3. Most likely it ends up 6-4, one way or the other, or 5-5.
Agreed.
So the other thing to keep in mind in here is how's Illinois doing? Because there's no Mike Poeta. Okay. I think most people that follow the sport know he's been put on administrative leave. I think those of us that are a little more heavily involved know the reason, and they're sorting that out. I just know this: the longer it takes to get him reinstated, the worse it is. Okay, I mean, and I like Mike. Like Mike a lot. Awesome guy to talk to. He's always been kind to me and my family. And I'm very good friends with a kid that's committed there. Plus, I'm very good friends with Brian Medlin, whose son is committed there.
Yeah.
And so,
so David, who in the interim, who is coaching the team? Who is the
Jeremy Hunter?
Jeremy Hunter.
But here's the problem: they just lost a coach. Okay, like I don't know. Like, let's say when you were at Iowa Central, it was you and Troy Bennett, and let's say I was the third assistant, okay, or second assistant, third guy. And if you're on administrative leave, Troy goes from 2-1, and I go from 3-2. There's no 3.
Yeah.
Like, you're just short a guy.
Sure.
Okay, well, this is not the ideal time to be short a guy. Like, probably June or July is the ideal time to be short a guy.
That's correct.
A lot of people can running and lifting and one-on-ones and things like that. Okay, and Medlin's RTC, so it's he can't be in the corner. Like there's, like he can, if you watch him, he can't yell or do certain things like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this would be a duel if we used to do the thing where you would kill me with the point spreads. It would be very interesting because a bunch of these point spreads would be difficult to set because they're toss-up matches.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you want me to pull up Iowa, Wisconsin, and just see if there's any
let's see what we got for matches.
By the way, and Dean is not listed on the probable list at 97, and Arnold is.
Okay.
There's a couple of other guys. Okay, so it's all green for Iowa. But if you're a Wisconsin homer and you're just praying for 5 wins, you got to have Rivera, you got to have Fugit, you got to have Amos, you got to have Joe Zargo, and then you got to hope you beat the non-Endine guy. Like, I don't see all those things happening. I'm just saying, I feel like that's their only path, right?
Yeah. I just think there's going to be, like you said, 3 good matches, competitive. I don't know. I think once 157, depends on what Jordan Williams wants to come out on the mat.
Jordan Williams looked really good at Soldier.
He did, but I've watched him wrestle not so good. So, yeah, like I said, it just depends.
You have to wrestle pretty poor, though, to not win this one.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just did here. I somehow hit the wrong button. There we go. Okay. All right. Last thing, Mark. Multi-level national duels are this weekend. I know you coached in that. I got to coach in that. Very cool event. You're neckish of the woods, Cedar Falls, Unidome.
Yep.
GT and I touched on it, but a little hard for him to be unbiased, with Grandview in it. It's basically the dual national title. Like the 1 year Life upset them. Life mentioned they were the dual national champions, which I guess is fair, especially in NAI, because it's all the good teams are there.
Yep.
There's not a team there that you go, hey, like I said to you when they ran the D1 duels, I'm like, I think Iowa State could win this tournament. Okay. And I was wrong. They lost to Ohio State. But if I'm wrong about that, they would have been in the finals. Okay. Because they beat Iowa.
They did.
So Iowa beat Oklahoma State. So
they did.
So on and so forth. Okay, and again, Oklahoma State might beat Iowa in the rematch, and Oklahoma State might beat Iowa State in their duel. So, but just the data points we have right now, Iowa State was this, and that's what I was telling someone, like 2 of the 3 best teams in the country are not here. Like even if you were sleeping on Iowa State, nobody's sleeping on Penn State.
Correct. So yeah, I mean, this was always the event you circled when we were coaching, David.
Yeah.
Because not only did you get really good competition, but as a junior college coach, we got to see our guys that did wrestle for us, wrestling for other schools once they finished at Iowa Central. So we were able to walk around and watch them wrestle also. So, I mean, it was just a lot of fun. And it was at the Dome in Cedar Falls back then when they had it. So it was a lot of fun to watch the Division I guys wrestling right next to the junior college or NAI. So
D2, D3, all of it, club.
If you're available, if you're not doing anything this weekend, it's a great event to go to. It's so much fun to watch. I don't think back in the day they had that many mats going, David, because
when I coached it in 2007 or 8 or 6 or 7, whenever that was, there was at least like 16 mats. Like GT said now there's like 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Like he said, it's bonkers. But, but you have to remember then there was no college women's wrestling back then.
True.
Okay. So, which is a good thing. It's definitely a good thing, but it's more mats.
Yep.
And so, and also like, I think back then, like JUCO only had like 8 teams and like they, like now they've gone full feed on all of it, which is awesome.
Yep.
So, I mean, it is interesting that like this is the national duels, and like I think the number one seeded team is Northern Iowa. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to say this quickly, and then we can get out of here. One of my friends has a theory on a suggestion on how to fix wrestling, like all these crazy, like basically our whole season doesn't matter. It comes down to 2 tournaments, the qualifier and the nationals. And we wrestle a bunch of meets, dual meets in a format that are different than the 2 meets that matter. He said it should be like a series where you get points. So like the Cliff Keen is worth so many points. And the national duels, if you want to make it so many points. And maybe you get some consolidation at Christmas and make that a 3rd set of points. Or they all count, but they're worth less because they're all next to each other. Again, somebody's going to have to decide what those mean, but you'd be much more likely. And then if this happened, then the team, though you get team points from all that, and that factors into then, and your dual meet ranking, the NWCA rankings is another piece. They don't all have to be equal pieces. Okay. But it would encourage more people to do more things. Okay. The other thing you said, which is 100% right, is you give them money to do all of them. That would change everything.
Agreed. But explain to your friend, and I'm not sure who this is, explain to your friend that Brown University, so I got wrestling. I don't know if they do or not because I don't follow Brown.
Does.
Okay.
Your good friend Mark Lane's son is the coach there.
Okay. Yeah, his kid was really good.
Yeah, national champion Lane.
Yep. But I mean, they're not going to go to Vegas, more than likely. And you know, if all the
but they weren't going to win nationals either.
That's true, but it doesn't even give them an opportunity. Like if you're going to accumulate points to qualify for the national tournament, or I'm not even sure what we're trying to do here because the conference tournament qualifies you for the national tournament. We're
not accumulating points to qualify for the national tournament. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm telling you it's an interesting idea. But his point is not to change qualifying. His point is to make the regular season mean something, right? Like in other words, okay, like we talked about Iowa. Okay, Iowa State wrestled Stanford a week ago and had like 5 starters in the lineup and still won the duel, okay? Yeah. But like if they had lost the duel, it wouldn't have changed the rankings at all because I think they won 20-18. So let's say Bastida gets a decision instead of a tech fall, and then they lose on criteria. I don't know if they would have lost on criteria, but let's just say that, okay?
Right.
It doesn't change any of the rankings. There were no upsets in that meet. And you and I have explained this 1,000 times, but the 1,001st time, the team rankings are just adding up individual rankings. Flo has done a very good job explaining that this year because they had Penn State at not number 1, 2, and 3 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Because they had Blaze low, they had Duke low, they had Josh Barr out, and Marisola low. You can justify all those things or not, but the point is that's how they got to those numbers.
Okay.
This point is if you sit these guys, it matters. Okay, like it accumulates points. Or you have a regular season cup and it's worth $1 million, okay? And then because then all these other matches are going to happen. Like if you're wrestling for $1 million or even 100,000, I mean, I don't know what a lot of money is in college wrestling now because you hear all these NIL deals and you don't know what's real. It feels to me like $1 million would be a lot of money. Okay.
Would be to me and you. Yeah.
Yeah, you and me. Like I ain't got train money like you do, but like it feels like it's a lot of money. Okay. So
I fell off my ladder, David. I fell off my ladder.
You're my guy. All joking aside, $1 million is probably a lot of money in this scenario, okay?
Yep.
So what would be interesting then is who finances that, right? Because if just my friend wrote a check, he doesn't benefit from Arizona State and Iowa State wrestling their starters. Like the 1 year Cornell wrestled Ohio State, last dual meet of the year, Spartan Combat paid for it, Flow paid for it. And I guarantee you these coaches talk to each other ahead of time and said, you start your starters at the odd weights, we'll start ours at the even weights. Then we didn't break the contract and nobody wrestles each other. It's exactly what happened. And all the matchups we wanted, we didn't see any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Until that matters, that's going to happen. And I'm not picking on those two schools. Like in junior college, it didn't matter at all. Like, listen, like we had two guys that wrestled each other 4 times one year. They were the best 2 guys in the country.
Yep.
We won 1 and 3. You won 2 and 4, including the national title. But those kids didn't duck each other. They wrestled each other every time. But if they had ducked each other, it wouldn't have mattered.
No.
You beat us in the duel. Wherever we placed at Colby wouldn't have changed because we won that one. Okay. I know that us winning the conference one didn't change where we were in the team standings. And I don't think you went in getting 4 points at the Nationals changed anything. So none of them mattered in the team scores. But they were great matches.
Yep.
Okay, they were great matches. And they're great kids and really good wrestlers and great people. But until, like, I'll say this and let you go, and then we'll talk and spend an hour. Like, the football thing now, right? Like, they moved it to 12. The regular season means less now. I'm not saying it's worse product, but when there was only 2 teams, the regular season really mattered. And they're gonna expand it to 16 because there's more money.
Yep.
You had 2 more games. That's money. ESPN or NBC or whoever's going to pay it. So I hope they do something. But I mean, anyway, last thing for me, Doc B is this weekend. You know, I'm getting more involved in the high school stuff.
Yep.
Massive implications on the national team rankings at that meet. Like FCA is going. All the Cali schools are there. The best 3 teams in Oklahoma are going. Del Barton's going. It's a massive tournament. It is coming very close to, and it may be better than Ironman this year. Those are big words.
Yep.
But we'll see. But the prep schools can't go. Okay, California is not allowed to wrestle prep schools.
So Blair can't go.
Blair can't go. Lake Highland Prep can't go. Sim can't go. Greens Farms can't go. Those type of teams cannot go.
Okay.
So nobody should think they're ducking, just like the California teams are not ducking Ironman.
Okay.
Like the tournament director says, we're having these guys or these guys, and Troy Terrapelli, coach of Buchanan, is going to have California teams there.
Yeah.
So, okay. You get the final word.
Yeah, I just, I like the way wrestling has been this year. I love the national duels. I love what's coming up this weekend and the other national duels. Those are fun events to go to. And I mean, for us, it's still watching wrestling, watching these kids compete. Hopefully, there isn't any ducking going to happen there because it's important. It's important to the programs. It's important for the coaches, student athletes, the fans. So, yeah.
I agree with all of it. It's and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like it's fine. I'm not saying it's a good idea. It's ultimately, like it is interesting too, like in football, right? Like if you lose to us twice in the regular season, you beat us in the playoffs, that's what counts, right? Same thing with basketball. Every sport, right? Like there's playoffs, and the playoffs are what matter. And these only get you a seed. And I will say this, there's like 75 schools that have wrestling, 33 guys qualify. Okay, so over 40% of the guys qualify. Okay, 40% of 75 is 30. Okay, so it's a little over that. It's like 43%.
Everybody's always going to find a flaw somewhere, David. So it is what it is. We just got to try to make it better every year, and the little things make a difference. They really do.
Or the big things like money. Like the national duels were very heavy. Like I got to be on that coaches conference call. They posted it. Flo posted it later, but live was very interesting to hear the honesty of the money matters. We're here because the money's here.
Yep.
So, like the Oklahoma State Iowa duel is a rematch this year. I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
Agreed.
So, all right. For Grant, who's not with us, for Mark, who is has moved out of the library to a safer, lower ground, I'm David. Appreciate you guys watching, listening. Please subscribe. Please share. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.